What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to talk about rests and like auxiliaries in pool or snooker and billiard in general. So in snooker, obviously because the table is like really big, you need a rest and other auxiliaries, you know, like a mini bat and etc. And even in pool, in some tables you might not be able to reach at some of the balls. You know, a rest is used when you can't really reach a ball. And so there are many occasions in pool as well where a person that doesn't really like is not able to reach it, you know, to reach the cue ball in order to play the shot. So you need some sort of an auxiliary, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, what you can do to improve it as well. How should you play it, and basically what it is. So here's an example of a rest. You know, I'm just using these little parts above, like on top of one of the cues that I had, just because why not? This thing is quite cheap, so you know, I don't really need to spend that much money over this. And you obviously use it when you can't physically reach the ball that you're playing. So you just put the guitar playing in here and you play the shot. You know, so obviously in this table I'm able to physically reach the ball, but for example, if you want to practice some snooker, this will be a frequent occasion in snooker, because snooker is really big. It's probably more than the double of this table that I have right here, and so it will be very common for you to face shots that you can't physically reach, you know, to play them with just a cue. And so you'll need either, for example, a mini bat that you can put at the end. It's just a little extension in case you think that you still might be able to reach the ball with some sort of a stretch, or an auxiliary, a rest. And in snooker there are many types of rests and auxiliaries that you can use. This, you can call it like the more normal one. It's not exactly like this in the snooker table, but it will be like something like this, you know, something that will do the job, you know. So and now you can question yourself, if you never saw a snooker game or someone playing with rests, you can ask yourself, how do you play with it, or what is like the right way to play with it, or how the professionals tend to play with it. Because I'm gonna be honest, like there are many types of techniques, you know, many different things and techniques can be different from each other. Then I've seen like some players in snooker where they use like the rest in a different way, especially like one or two Chinese players. But so I'm just going to show you probably how most of them, I guess, tend to play fit, or at least what is the normality. So in my case, I do play these rests with my right hand, even though I'm left-handed. You simply hold it like this, you know. You put the cue over here, and to cue it, you can make this sort of movement, you know. Your arm needs to be like in this sort of position, and you tend to just cue it in this sort of movements. Okay? So let's go to the shot, do some preparation, and then well, that was the part. Just go again. You prepare the shot, many parts. Okay. So also when you try to play with the rest, it doesn't really like you need to see what works with you the best. Like I'm a left-handed person, but it kind of works better with me with my right hand, you know. So it really depends from person to person. Like even a snooker world champion Joe Trump plays normally with his left hand, but he tends to play with the rest with the right hand, you know. So you really have to see what is more comfortable to you, you know. It needs to be comfortable. If you think that it doesn't feel that comfortable, just play with a right hand, try a left hand, for example. You never know. And obviously, you need to have in consideration that this is not something that will improve it in the course of a night or a day. It takes a long time to practice, and even I'm still quite in the beginning part, if you like to say it. Really, I still have a long way to go, you know. Well, maybe I'm not in the beginning part because I kind of know how to play it, but still have a long way to go, you know. And now, let's imagine, for example, if you are someone who aspires to play snooker, but doesn't really have the conditions to play in a snooker table and still wants to practice some parts of it, and in this case, even though you are able to reach like most of the shots in a pool table, in case because like there are many countries where there are not that many snooker tables, you know, and there are a bunch of pool tables. Like even in Portugal there are a bunch of pool tables, but snooker tables are really rare, you know. They're also like more expensive, and I guess that snooker is not as popular as pool over here, I guess. Like people know what pool is, but only a few know what snooker is, you know. And if you want, for example, to practice your rest shots in a snooker table, but you only have conditions to practice in a pool table, if you want to play some rest shots on a snooker table, you can still comfortably play them in a pool table. Like I said, even though you can quite reach most of the shots in a pool table, you can, for example, try to play some long shots in a pool table with a rest, you know, so there's more than space for you to practice with the rest in the pool table. And you can, you know, develop your own technique playing with it, slowly develop it, and obviously on the course of time. And so, not having a snooker table to play some rest shots that are played on a snooker table are still quite playable in a pool table, okay? I'm gonna show you some routine practices that you can have, some routine practices that you can use to, you know, start playing with it. Obviously, I was trying to show you guys there an easy shot because everyone that starts to play with the rest should start with the easy pots, you know. So I was just trying to show you a easy pot. Plus, I kind of wanted to get close to the camera. So obviously, you start playing rest shots on a easy scale with some easy balls, and then you go on in terms of difficulty, you know. There's always room for improvement. For example, if you think that you can pot any ball with the rest, even if it's like a long pot in a pool table, you can still, for example, try to control the cue ball better with the rests, you know, you can try to play like some positional shots with the rests, playing some type of a pot, you know. There's a lot of room to improvement. So because either whether you are playing snooker or pool, you are going to obviously continue to pot balls, you know. So it's snooker, for example, if you are playing a red, then we'll be playing like a color ball next, a black or a pink. So some cue ball control is needed when playing the rest, and the same can apply to pool. You know, whether you eventually need to play a shot with the rest, playing some. If you are not playing the last remaining ball, you want obviously we want to continue playing the ball. So a good control over the cue ball to go to the next spot is essential, you know. So it's something that you need to also have in mind and just practice over the years, the cue ball control, your technique in order to be as smooth as possible. And obviously your accuracy and your consistency, you know, because your technique needs to be consistent. Like it doesn't matter if you know how to pot the ball, you need to pot like 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. If you pot like 20 out of 10 out of 20, even better, you know. There's always room for improvement. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you some routines that you can practice. And you also need to have in consideration that you kind of want to also try to play some rest shots to every single pot, to every single hole. I'm sorry, to every single hole. You need to get adapted to every single, hole that there is on the table, because I don't know, maybe you can be one of those guys that is like really good at playing to a certain hole, but after playing to another, it gets a little bit awkward. I don't know, you can be one of those guys. So just getting used to playing to all the holes with the rest, and every single side is important. Alright, without further ado, I can just show you some practice routines that you can have it, I guess. Talking about routines, so for example, like I said, start to get used to playing the rest to each corner, or at least the bottoms and upper corners, you know, these 4 corners. And yeah, if you're on the beginning part, just like put like one ball there, then another ball over there, like easy pots, you know. And this ball can go over here and over here. Tight like pots these 4 balls to these 4 corners, like 10 times, 20 times. Make it simple, like, and try to make it like directly at first, like direct pots, to make it as easy as possible for you to pot them. Then you obviously can make it harder, but this is just for when starting to play the rest. Make it simple and easy so that you can over time get a better technique. And then obviously you can put some angle on it, you know. You can try to make it directly a direct pot, but you can try to screw it back, screw the ball back towards you. You know, there's a lot you can do. And then in snooker you also need You also need to practice your positional shots. So, for example, if you are going to play in snooker, you can do something like, and you can start with something like this. So imagine that this one is a red and that a black. Try to put this red so that the cue ball can go like one cushion over here, or you can make it a bit more directly, and you can just stand at the cue ball over here, so you put it and the cue ball will stop over here and you apply to the black, and the same thing on this side. So there's a lot you can do, and a couple more things. For example, if you're playing the rest with your right hand, which means if you're playing if you're holding the cue with your right and holding the rest with your left hand needs to be stable. When you hold it, that he needs to be stable. It can't move at all. Okay, and because if it moves, obviously there's a lot of a chance that you're gonna miss the pot. So it needs to be really stable. Plus, on a real match, you try to do not that much with the rest, because playing the rest is also a little bit tough, I guess. Maybe it's not something that you practice as much. So if you are like on a amateur match or whatever, keep it simple. Try to make an easy positional shot. If you are playing like snooker or even pool, don't put like too much side. Just focus completely on the pot. The pot is the most important thing. And yeah, keep it simple, okay? Don't make things harder if there's no need to, okay? Like, you must rather win playing simple shots than be the man, that plays the most difficult shots and loses in the first round. You don't want to be that kind of dude, because playing, if you're constantly playing the first shots, then at some point you will miss, so keep it simple. I'm gonna go for just pots, just like very hard pots with it. And for example, I'm gonna try to play some long shots in a pool table that, like, I'm gonna try to use the maximum of the whole table to play with the rest. And yeah, let's go for a couple. I'm probably not going to pot many, because it's hard, but let's try. It's a challenge, man.
Won't you make up your mind? 'Cause I'm getting tired of overthinking every move you make, and I can help you decide who you're loving now, and how I'm not quite there somehow. My intuition says to give you up, but my heart can't easily let you go. I try to tell myself this isn't love, and I hate that I never really know if I should stay. I'm just waiting for the fire, but you won't even try to survive. You would rather keep it all inside, and I can help you decide who you're loving now, and how I'm not quite there somehow. My intuition says to give you up, but my heart can't easily let you go. I try to tell myself this isn't love, be alone. If I should stay or be alone. But my heart can't easily let you go. I try to tell myself this isn't love.
Alright guys, I forgot to actually do an outro, so yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing week. Stay safe. If you like the video, you can leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel. If you want, you can also turn your post notifications. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.
If I should stay or be alone.